Hey, welcome to Stump the Idiot. I am the Idiot, aka Dave Coco from KocoSports.com or KocoSports.net. It takes you to the same places where the world comes to kick ass and your home for combat sports. And above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. I haven't done this in a while. I'm pretty sure I screwed up half those sayings. Anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd answer Twitter comments through videos as we are getting ready for preseason. Hopefully we'll come back and rock and roll, folks. Alright, so this is from Alex Cauldron at Hikaru Lightning! Hikaru Lightning! I don't know what that means. Hopefully he's a Lightning fan. Hope you don't mind me asking this. Nah, no problem, bro. Ask me whatever you want. But I saw that Stump the Idiot video. Woohoo! You were one of the few only ones. You did, and I really liked it. Appreciate it. If you do another, here's a question for me. Alright, I'll keep doing it. If you guys want to be a Stump the Idiot, tweet me at KocoSports with a question. You mentioned you were an NWA WCW fan over WWE. Why was that? Yeah, because it's weird because where I lived, I shouldn't have been. I lived in New Jersey. That was WWF country. And it's funny because Boom Boom, my co-host, he lived down south. And he liked the WWF. And back in the day, down south, you liked NWA, WCW. And the Northeast loved WWF. I did watch WWF pay-per-views. Online internet journalist. I wish we stayed in touch more. Dave T is an online wrestling journalist and MMA journalist. We grew up together, and he would get all the WWF pay-per-views, and I would get all the WCW pay-per-views, and we had to sell stuff, we had to hustle, we grew up poor. I remember, one of us, I'm not going to say which one, it was me, would steal stuff and sell it so I could afford the WCW pay-per-views, and we would shovel driveways, cut grass, whatever it took to buy that pay-per-view, and my place was the WCW place, and his place was the WWF place. But outside of WWF pay-per-views, I really didn't watch it that much unless I was just hanging out with Dave Tees. I was a WCW fan, and even when I was a little kid, back in the 80s, I thought WWF was for kids. I thought WCW, NWA, and granted, they had ridiculous stuff, I assure you, but it felt more like a sport. NWA, WCW felt more like a sport, where WWF, there was Doink the Clown and characters like that. And nowadays, people are like, oh, that's awesome. And, and it's so funny, too, because, a lot of WWF and WWE defenders are like, oh, it's for the kids. I remember being a little kid. We did our own little wrestling shows. We did action figures. We were the biggest fucking wrestling nerds in the world. And we were young, super kids. And, yeah, WWF was stupid. It was like, oh, yeah, that's kind of fucking for little kids. I remember because, I was talking to one of my uncles, and he goes, hey, dude, you like WWF? And I was like, yeah, no, that's stupid. That's for kids. And he's like, dude, you're 8 years old. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's pretty stupid, and it's for kids. WCW, NWA seemed more, and none of that, but it had, to me, the greatest storytelling wrestling rivalry ever. To me, it's the ultimate definition of how to tell a story, how to book a rivalry. To me, it's just pro wrestling, and it's not heel versus face. It's just two different ideas going at it, and that was Ric Flair, woo, my favorite wrestler growing up, against Dusty Rhodes, and it was just great. I thought the NWA / WCW felt more real. I felt like it wasn't embarrassing, and I loved it. I loved every moment of it, and yeah, and that's why, I also get mad when WWE fans are like, well, Vince McMahon was your childhood. No, he wasn't. WCW, NWA was my childhood. ECW was my teenage years. It's funny because they're like, well, WWE has always been there for you. No, that's not the case. WWF is the one that's always been killing what I love. And granted, I don't hate WWF that much, but it does grind my gears when I hear a WWF bot or a WWF superfan be like, WWF was always there for you. Vince McMahon was always there for you. And I'm like, yeah, he was always Darth Vader in my story. He was the one that destroyed the NWA. He was the one that destroyed WCW. He's the one that destroyed ECW. And that feels great, I know. Like I always say, a lot of these WWF fans or WWE fans think Vince's success is their success. But the reality is, if you're not a bandwagon jumper or if you're old enough to remember, half half the audience lost what they loved. Half the audience during the invasion angle died inside. So, yeah, I liked NWA, WCW, even though I lived up the Northeast and everyone was a WWF fan, because of Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes and the roster. And I hated Hulk Hogan. A lot of people, and that's another fucking thing that WWF fans piss me off. Oh, everyone liked Hulk Hogan. I despise that motherfucker. I actually didn't like him until, he's fucking old as shit. Okay, I have to like him. It's like the Wayne Gretzky rule. I hated Wayne Gretzky every fucking day of my life until, it was his last season. I'm like, I'm gonna miss you, you son of a bitch. That's how I am with Hulk Hogan. I was like, oh, fuck Hulk Hogan. Even though Hulk Hogan's always been cool when I met him in person. But, as a fan, just speaking as a fan, not as a person, I'm not gonna get personal attacks and all that. As a fan growing up, I hated Hulk Hogan. I fucking despised him. He's the Superman. What? I never read Superman comics for one reason. I never watched Hulk Hogan matches for one reason. They always won. What was the fucking point? I remember because, I'd go to, like I said earlier, I'd go to Dave Tease's house to watch WWF pay-per-views, and Real American would come out, and I had about a 30 minutes to an hour walk. Yeah, kind of a long walk for a kid to go home. And I remember as soon as Hulkamania came out and people were going crazy, I would leave. I'd be like, dude, it's cold out. It's hot out. Whatever fucking season it was. I'm going home. Why? Hogan's gonna win. What the fuck's the point? I want to go home and go to bed, motherfuckers. I want to play some goddamn Nintendo. I didn't even fucking watch it. Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Lex Luger, Sting, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. You didn't know who was gonna fucking win. But, yeah. So, the reason I like WCW is, well, that's a bunch of reasons, but, yeah. So, I grew up a WCW fan. I grew up an NWA fan. And then ECW came in at the right moment because it came in at the age where I was like, oh, I'm getting too old for wrestling. Wrestling's not for me anymore. And then ECW came in and no, wrestling can still be for you. So I grew up an NWA, WCW fan, but me, as old as I am, still being a passionate wrestling fan, even in the last 2 years, I kind of took off for personal problems. Yeah, it's because of ECW. If ECW didn't come when it came, I probably would be like, oh yeah, I watched wrestling as a kid, which 90% of people say. So yeah, I liked NWA and WCW way better than WWF. And yeah, but WWE won the war. So when you hear a WWF superfan say everyone was a Hogan fan, that's a lie. When they say Vince McMahon was always there for you, it's a lie. When they say everyone grew up a WWF fan, it's a lie. In the Northeast, there was a lot more WWE fans, but the reality is 50% of people liked NWA and WCW, so we lost. The South will rise again! Inappropriate joke, -10. But yeah, and I don't hate WWE as much as it sounds. It's just, it does bug me when people say that. But they're like, oh yeah. Alright, like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to do a Coco Plays. Go check it out, KOCO Plays. It's my Let's Play channel. And this is pre-season. I'm hoping in 2018 I can get back into nerding. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get back into nerding like I used to, but little by little. Alright, love you guys. Did I say like, comment, subscribe? I think I did. Oh yeah, buy my book. Link in a doobly-doo. With that, I am over. Bum, 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 bum.